Hey guys, it's Timmy, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as we're here with the Wednesday show, the PW Unlimited podcast. Never mind. Taking a solo tonight, Nick is unavailable. Number 53 of the Wednesday show. So, what's going on, guys? Let's see who is here with us in the chat. Excuse me, I've got a cough that just will not go away. Ooh, almost knocked my drink off the table. All kinds of... Okay, here we go. So, in the chat, we've got Tom Dobbs, Shocked, Ashton Tyler, Alex A, The Face, Derek Bocek, Vash Starwind, Jeff Guevara, MTG. What's going on, everybody? So tonight, like I said, I'm taking it solo, so that also means we're opening up the phone lines. If you guys want to call in, the phone number is on the screen, 559-475-8473. Again, 559-475-8473. The number is on the screen. It's open lines. You can talk about anything you want pro wrestling related. Just call us in. We've also got Travis Ray here, Liam, Roberto Taggle, Adam Heb, Mr. Jones is me. What's going on, guys? So, as far as pro wrestling goes, today the pre-sale tickets for the Royal Rumble Fan Access event went on sale, and Becky Lynch, her VIP session, sold out in less than 90 seconds. Wild. Becky Lynch actually took to Twitter. We just posted a video about this, but if you did not see that video, Becky Lynch did take to Twitter earlier today to talk about this, stating the following. They tell me that my Royal Rumble VIP access sold out in 90 seconds. I see and I hear you all. All the t-shirts, the signs, the posts, the love. The man sees you all. They didn't expect us, but we're here. Pretty insane. Now, Promo asks, how many tickets did she sell? I don't know. I don't know how many tickets they actually sold, like how many each VIP session does get. Mick Foley did respond to that tweet stating, 90 seconds, truly at Becky Lynch. This WWE Hall of Famer and 33-year grizzled veteran proclaims, thou art the man. So, I mean, props to Becky Lynch. She's probably the most popular thing going right now in WWE. Like, nobody has the momentum that Becky has right now, and it's crazy. It's just crazy to see. Not Ronda Rousey, who they're still trying to push as the top person with Roman Reigns out. Not Seth Rollins, not Dean Ambrose, not AJ Styles, not vegan environmentalist, evil genius Daniel Bryan. Becky, whether they want her to be, and it's still weird. Is she a heel or is she a baby face? Because she does heel things, but then in that tweet, she's like, I see the love, I see the signs, I see all this, I see all the support, basically is what she said. And it's like, that's a babyface thing to say, in my opinion. So it's a little odd, a little weird to think, hey, is she a face or is she a heel? We really just don't know. Well, looking at the chat here. Fonzie805 asks, we're going to talk about the XFL. To be honest, I'm not the biggest football fan. I don't know enough about football to talk about football. And unless there's a story that directly impacts the WWE, then I'm really not inept to talk about it. Now, yeah, they announced the 8 cities that will be getting a XFL team, but they didn't say anything with those 8 cities that's going to impact WWE. It's not like, okay, they're going to Houston, Dallas, LA, St. Louis, Seattle. See, Houston, Dallas. I'm going to try and remember this off the top of my head. Houston, Dallas, St. Louis, Los Angeles, Tampa, Washington, D.C., New York, New Jersey, and I'm missing one. What am I missing? Let me know. Which one did I miss? I mean, if they would have announced XFL is going to all these cities, they're working with all these stadiums and venues. Oh, and because the XFL is working with them, WWE is going to be, you know what I mean? So unless something XFL directly impacts and affects something WWE, then I honestly am not going to talk about it. Like I said, I'm not the biggest football fan. I'm not somebody that can go out there and tell you everything about football and all the rules and why this happened on this game or why this guy did this. So I'm just going to stay away from what's not in my lane. And I'm not going to try and talk about things that I don't really have any business talking about. So in the chat, DJ McDaniel says Stone Cold Becky. Hashtag the man is taking over. With that, let's take a call. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Well, yeah, you hear me?
What's going on?
Just like to talk on the show.
Go for it.
All right. Well, I'm actually looking for, we heard about Becky Lynch, where her access tickets sold out in
right.
less than 90 seconds. That's pretty crazy, So I'm going to be there for the Rumble in Phoenix. I was actually looking forward to that.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what's your question?
Which question?
Do you have a question?
Yeah, regarding the XFL, you think it will succeed after one season, or do you think it will probably close down after the season?
Like I said, I don't know enough about all that to talk myself. I'm not the biggest football guy or have been keeping up with like the logistics of how they're doing things with XFL. I do know that they said today that they've got way more money able to be invested into the XFL this time than they did last time. They have more money that's going into research, going into development of the brands, going into development of the teams, and that's why they're taking their time. Last time, Vince goes, let's start a football franchise or promotion or whatever you want to call it. And he basically within like less than a year was like, idea on TV. This time, he doesn't want to rush it. That's really what I know. Vince is taking his time. He's actually getting the proper football people this time, not just people he knows in TV and from wrestling and whatnot. He's getting the right people that know football to help him out with this and go forward. So I think it may have a better chance now, but it's hard to say if it's going to succeed after one season or not. Because the way they talked today, they said, we're starting with these 8 cities. They really did make it sound like if the first season goes well, maybe the second season goes well, then they can expand to more teams in the league.
Yeah, that's very true, yeah.
So, like I said, I'm not the biggest person when it comes to knowing when it comes to football and all that kind of stuff. So I can't talk too much XFL.
Oh, okay.
But have a good night and thanks for the call.
Yeah, man, thanks.
All right. So as we check the chat here, see what else you guys are talking about. If anybody else does want to call in, number is on the screen, 559-475-8473. $1 super chat donation from Luke Might. He says, who is this guy? Where's Nick? As we said at the top of the show, I'm taking it solo. Nick is unavailable tonight, and I'll be taking your calls. Vince is wasting his money, says Borat Trolls. I mean, he could be and he could not be. You never know. Maybe after a couple years it makes a profit. Who knows? Julio says, will Fox or NBC start doing the XFL? I think Dave Meltzer said on Monday's Wrestling Observer Radio that they were talking with NBC. I don't know if maybe Fox wants to get it since the XFL is going to start directly after the NFL season ends. And they did talk about today in their press conference that, hey, there's a lot of different networks and streaming platforms that want live sports content. So there's a lot more places where they're available to go to than they were when they started the first XFL. So they have more options this time, and people are really, really willing, as we've seen with the WWE and the UFC, willing to pay big money for live sports content. And as you asked with Fox, I think Fox may be interested. I think they could be because Fox does put a lot into their NFL stuff. And if the XFL is starting the week after the Super Bowl, maybe Fox can be like, hey, we've got all these people that watch all these NFL games and still want football. So soon as NFL ends, we can just go, hey, we've still got football, keep it with Fox. Maybe Fox is interested, maybe Fox isn't. We won't know. Excuse me for keep hitting the microphone. Let me move this over for a second. We really won't know They said they're going to announce more stuff coming in the spring, like coaches, team names, and possibly TV stuff. But I think when they talked about TV stuff, they said something about more like next fall they can announce a TV deal. So we'll see where it goes. I don't know. I think it could do okay. Like I said, Vince has got more quote-unquote football people helping him this time, so that's a plus. But let's go to the phones. Caller, on the air. What's going on?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Been kind of looking at the feud with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose.
Okay.
For the past few weeks, even
Right.
though Ambrose did look like Bane from The Dark Knight Rises this past Monday. But I've been thinking, like, what are they going to do with him after this is over?
That's a good. Go for it.
I don't understand. I don't get where Ambrose is going to go after this.
I mean, who knows? Maybe if you look at the betting odds, which sometimes the betting odds are right, sometimes they're wrong, but the betting odds do, as of yesterday, have Dean Ambrose winning that match. So maybe Dean Ambrose wins the Intercontinental Championship. He's the new Intercontinental Champion, and Seth moves on to bigger, better things. It is rumored that
like
Seth is
Brock Lesnar.
Right. It is rumored that Seth could be taking on Brock at WrestleMania. So maybe, heck, for all we know, maybe Brock retains the championship at Royal Rumble and Seth wins the Rumble. Maybe that's how they get to WrestleMania.
True. It's just, I look at it like, yeah, you got these two facing each other, but it's like the title's not even what's in the middle between these two, because they won the tag belts and then Dean just turned on them. Which, by the way, that turn that he did was not in today's era. That was strictly an old school heel turn.
Very true.
And, yeah, no one saw that coming.
Well, especially on that night.
Yeah, that's why they didn't see it coming. As they won the belts and fans went nuts, and when he did that, it's just like, what the heck?
Right.
Because Ambrose, if you try to find a tweet from Ambrose on Twitter, good luck. You're not gonna find one. Yeah, he's got a Twitter account, but he doesn't use it.
Right.
They not supposed to even mention that. He doesn't do Facebook. He doesn't do Instagram, like the women do. He doesn't do any. If you go to the Twitter account and say they make me get a Twitter account, whatever. Enjoy.
Right. I mean, that's the same thing John Cena said. John Cena said recently, he's like, I never wanted an Instagram, but the WWE told me I had to, so that's why I just post random stuff on it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So it's just, I just don't get. I just want to wait to see where Ambrose is gonna go after his feud was set, because if he got nothing, I mean, yeah, you got guys like Finn Balor and Dolph who basically look like he just did a babyface turn on Monday.
Right.
Which I saw that coming a mile away from.
Oh, yeah.
Between him and Drew McIntyre, who, by the way, is going to be making an hell of an impact in 2019, because he is not going to screw this chance up like he did years ago when he had that thought in his head that he was the, quote-unquote, chosen one.
Well,
yeah,
that
worked out real well.
Well, that was more of the storyline and character that they gave him. That wasn't McIntyre thinking that himself. And, I mean, if you really look at it, I want to say thanks for the call, but if you really look at it, I mean, when they put him in 3MB, he did the best he could. He tried. He worked hard. He did what he could with that gimmick and moved forward. And unfortunately, he eventually was released from the company and went out there and proved himself and said, hey, this is what I can do. You guys say I'm too small or too skinny or whatever, or I'm not what you want anymore. So let me change what I'm doing, go out on the indies, work all around the world, and prove to the WWE that I can be what the WWE wants. And he did that. He went to Impact. He was their champion there. He was the champion in a couple promotions in the UK. And WWE saw him and was like, whoa, We need to get this guy back. And they did, and now he's one of the top guys in the company. So, I mean, great for Drew McIntyre. That's amazing what he's been able to do since he first got released after being 3MB. And then since coming back, he went back to NXT, was the NXT champion. And it's only a matter of time before he's a Universal champion on Raw. I mean, it's only a matter of time. I can see it coming a mile away. Well, let's check back into the chat before we take any more calls. Travis Ray says, yeah, Renee doesn't post pics about him on her social media pages because Dean's just John Moxley. Dean Ambrose' real name, John Moxley. He's just always been a really private type of person. Let's see. Promo says if Rollins wins the Rumble, what are they going to do with Drew? Because they want to push him. It's hard to say. We really don't know what the plans are for WrestleMania for many people. We've heard some rumors, like the whole Seth and Brock stuff, or the whole Becky Ronda or Charlotte Ronda. But other than that, we haven't heard anything that could be concrete. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go basically in the next 2 months. Because once we get to Royal Rumble, they need to have most Mania plans planned out, I would assume. By a lot of times before Rumble, they know at least half the card, what they want to do. Going here, Mr. Jones is me says, where's Kona Reeves? His return to NXT was so hyped in April, but now he's only had like 4 matches. I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of the Kona Reeves character myself. I think Kona Reeves is supposed to be a guy that, because he's the finest Kona Reeves, right? So he's supposed to be a guy that's got all the nicest things and the finest jewelry and the finest cars and all. You know, he's supposed to be this rich guy that wants to flaunt it. But then you look at him, no offense, and he doesn't look it. Now, a guy that could be called the finest is EC3. EC3 could be called the finest and work that gimmick because that is what EC3 is. He's the guy that, he's the top 1%er. He's better than everybody. Well, at least he thinks he's better than everybody. And he's got the nice things, and he dresses nice and all that. And then you look at Kona Reeves, and he's got a bad dye job in his hair. And I mean, they should have just kept him as Noah Kakoa. Julio says, do you think All Elite Wrestling could be on national TV with Cody and the Bucks on WGN America or CBS or something? I see WGN America being a very, very possible option. I know initially when the first report came out and they were like, oh, Jericho and Jim Ross are tied to this and whatnot, and they said Access TV, reached out to our contact at Access TV, and he immediately came back and goes, yeah, we're not involved with any other wrestling companies that we don't have already announced, which they have New Japan and WOW. They were just like, nope, we're not involved with that. I was like, okay, good to know. Thank you. So, I mean, Access is out, but I think WGN America, after what they did with All In that 0 hour, and I think WGN America has a Saturday mornings wrestling show as well. They want to get back into wrestling, and I think getting a brand new promotion could work because it's like, hey, we haven't been established in the wrestling game since we tried to run WWF Superstars back in like 2010. So let's start with this new startup and see if WGN America can get back into being a viable wrestling thing. We'll have to see. A promo says, why would WWE take the title off Becky if she's the biggest thing they have? Easy. If they want Becky versus Ronda at WrestleMania, one of them needs to lose the title. You can't go in there and do champion versus champion because you have to do your SmackDown Live Women's Championship match at WrestleMania and you have to do your Raw Women's Championship match at WrestleMania. So you have to have both titles on the line. And so if you do Becky versus Ronda, I would assume Ronda goes in as the champion, Becky the challenger. Mr. Jones is me says maybe make him a delusional character where he thinks he's fine. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll have to see. Travis Ray says, I thought WGN run ROH on Saturdays. Not that I've seen. I mean, I know here locally in Central California, we get ROH on both Fox affiliate and our CW affiliate. I know some people get it on their ABC affiliate. I think that's in like the Seattle area. They get it on ABC. So it just depends on where you live, and honestly, I think it's where you live and which stations in your area could be or are possibly owned by Sinclair Broadcasting, which owns Ring of Honor, and then they will go and say, okay, hey, we own this Fox and this ABC and this CW and this NBC, and we're going to put ROH onto these shows. Because, I mean, it's weird because I never see ROH on at the same time, and it's on two different networks. Sometimes it's on Fox on Sunday evening. Sometimes it's on CW on Sunday. I've even sometimes seen it randomly come up on Saturday. So it's just, that's the one big thing with ROH. You always know that you can watch the newest episodes on the Fight TV app. But if you want to watch it on regular TV, at least here, there's not a set time that I've noticed. So that's the odd thing. But if you guys do want to call into the show and give your thoughts on anything pro wrestling related from this week in pro wrestling, the number is on the screen, 559-475-8473. Gabriel Perez says, Walter debuts at TakeOver UK. I can see that. Either him having an actual match or just being seated in the crowd. Roberto Tagle says, how about Undertaker versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania? Here's the question. How do you get there? Because that's one that's a little far-fetched for me. That's one like, how do you get there indeed? Jesse, I'm going to butcher your last name, or Jess Manduyo. They should book Ambrose as an attacker that doesn't say a word. He just does what he does. I mean, he needs to say something. He's got to have eventually come out and be like, this is why I did this, and now I want this. He's got to have a reason and a motive. But let's take another call. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hi, I'm just curious about what you think about the All Elite rumors. I was at All In, probably the greatest wrestling show that I've ever been to, and I was really excited about what would happen next. But I'm just curious about if you think the All Elite promotion would succeed, because I don't think that New Japan and ROH would just roll over and say, you can use our guys. They would be competition to WWE as well as Ring of Honor and New Japan. I'm just curious about your thoughts.
Yeah, I want to say thanks for the call, and it's more of a, I think it's going to happen. I mean, we've seen all the different trademarks. You've got All Out, Double or Nothing, which Cody has basically said is a name that he wants to use for another show. The All Elite Wrestling. Then Cody was at the Jacksonville Jaguars game this past weekend. I think it's going to happen, but I don't think it can be successful enough to compete with even Ring of Honor maybe if they don't get television. If they don't have a TV network and they can't say, hey, we're going to be on this channel at this time every week. If they can't do that, I've got to start. And it doesn't have to be this channel. It may be able to be this streaming service. Maybe that would work. But if they don't have some sort of platform other than Fight TV, I don't think it's going to work. They have to have a feasible either TV network or top-tier, high-end streaming service like an Amazon Prime Video or YouTube TV. Well, not even YouTube TV because that's more like a TV service. But maybe they could be the first live sports thing or first weekly sports thing on Netflix. Who knows? They can go to Hulu. But I think, excuse me, they need television or a very, very strong streaming service to succeed at all. And then as your other question about Ring of Honor, New Japan letting them use talent, it's not going to happen. Here's the thing. If ROH, it's not going to happen. Let me rephrase this. ROH is not going to let them use their talent. Plain and simple. Because they're a U.S. company. All Elite Wrestling is going to be a U.S. company. Competition. Now, if Cody and the Bucks go to New Japan and say, hey, we've got this company. We need guys. Can we use New Japan guys? And if New Japan and Harold May and all them do say, sure, what does that mean for the Ring of Honor and New Japan working relationship? If New Japan were to say, hey, All Elite Wrestling can use our guys if they want, does ROH come back and say, whoa, 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 we have a deal where we use your guys and you use our guys? I don't know if there's anything actually contractual there where in the States, New Japan guys can only be on ROH shows that aren't New Japan. I don't know. But I do feel if New Japan were to say All Elite can use our guys, all ROH probably wouldn't like that and probably would say, hey, no, we're your U.S. partner. We use your guys. So I think that's going to be one of the biggest things is I don't think they're gonna share talent. They need to get their own roster. And that's the other thing. It can't be WCW. When Bischoff took over and just started bringing in a bunch of guys that were already known and established from WWE or WWF. You got to build your own roster. You can't just say, hey, we've got all these guys, but they're also on this other show at the same time with these storylines. And that's one thing that I've noticed with the indies and stuff like Ring of Honor and not really Ring of Honor, but like MLW and Defy and all these companies that they use the same guys. But in one promotion, one guy may be a baby face and then another he's a heel. Or in one promotion, he's feuding with a guy that is known to be like a partner or a friend of another guy that he's friends with in another promotion. So it's like storylines. I don't like when promotions share talent or use the same guys and they actually have storylines for their promotion, but the storylines kind of conflict with those guys. I don't like that, and I think that's why they need to have their own roster of their own exclusive guys, and they don't have to be completely exclusive. They can say, hey, you're signed to All Elite Wrestling, but you can go work all these indies. So we'll see how that goes. Cody is teasing a big, big announcement coming in January. They keep stating on Being the Elite that Cody, Matt, and Nick, Hangman, they're all busy on January 1st. And that could be the All Elite Wrestling announcement. We don't know. We really don't know. Something's going to happen on January 1st, I believe. But other than what it's going to be is nothing more than rumors and speculation. Rumors and speculations. We can't say anything for sure on that. Julio says, will Lars Sullivan be the new Braun on SmackDown Live because that could be a good investment? Maybe. I'd like to see that. When Lars does come to the main roster, I think SmackDown will be better for him. Now, yeah, Raw's the land of the giants. It's the home of the big guys. You got the Romans and the Brauns and the McIntyres and the Corbins and the Bobby Lashleys and all that. But the better workers, in my opinion, are on SmackDown. The more experienced guys are on SmackDown. And that will help Lars Sullivan. Lars Sullivan can go to SmackDown and work with the guys like a Daniel Bryan or an AJ Styles or a Rusev or the Usos or the New Day and learn. And I think that's the best way for him. Because I'm not saying guys on Raw are bad. I'm not saying that at all. But if he's going to Raw and Raw's just got a bunch of big guys, then you're just going to learn to work with big guys. But if you can go to SmackDown where you've got all types of guys. You've got the Rusevs, who's right there in the middle, kind of. He's not a big guy, but he's not a small guy. But then you got the AJs and the Mizes, and you've got the Cesaros and the Sheamuses. He's got a good plethora of guys with experience. When you look at Raw, there's a lot of guys that are like still new in some instances to like the main roster kind of deal. So putting Lars on SmackDown would be the better bet in my opinion. The Night Nagel in the chat says, hey Tim, do you think the Undisputed Era will make a huge impact in the main roster when they get called up? Also, do you see them on Raw or SmackDown Live? I can see Undisputed Era going either way and being successful. Those four guys together, if they keep all four together, could do something great on the main roster. I just hope that Vince doesn't see all four guys and go, they're all small. Let's put them on 205. Because, I mean, Adam Cole's only, 5'10", 180, 185? Like, Adam Cole cannot be 200. He cannot beat 200. Then you got Kyle O'Reilly, who's like 5'7", 160. Fish ain't much different. I mean, Roddy, about the same as well. So it's like those guys could get stifled by Vince for their size. But I think Triple H will push for him hard. Triple H really appreciates those guys, their work in NXT. And he said it on multiple conference calls. Multiple. Marcus Ryan says, do you think they should move a Finn Balor to SmackDown? Yes and no. Yes. Excuse me. Yes. For the fact of there's guys that he can have great matches with on SmackDown. But no, because they still need that diversity of superstars on Raw as far as sizes go. They still need some smaller guys on Raw to break things up. So when you say, yeah, put him on SmackDown because they're not doing anything with him on Raw, he needs to be on Raw. Because you can't have the SmackDown roster just be all the small guys or the smaller guys and the Raw roster be all the bigger guys. You can't do that. You have to have some smaller guys and some bigger guys in a just, like I said, diversity of styles and sizes. Jess says, Undisputed Era to Raw so we can see Adam Cole versus Seth Rollins. That'd be pretty good. I mean, how about you move Seth also to SmackDown? You put Undisputed Era on SmackDown. You can still do it. Taylor in the chat says, do you think they should reform the Shield if Roman comes back? I don't think so, but knowing them, they probably will. They're gonna play that. They're gonna play that card as long as they can because they know them Shield T-shirts will make money. T-shirts will sell and sell at a pretty good rate. So yeah, they'll probably try again. It all depends on where Seth and Dean are career-wise, character-wise by that time because we don't know when Roman's coming back. It could be a year, it could be 2 years, it could be 5 years. We just don't know. I mean, for all we know, maybe he doesn't. I don't want to say it, but maybe there's a chance he doesn't come back at all. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. That one's kind of a wait and see thing. Again, if you guys do want to call in, the lines are open right now. 559-475-8473. Wanted to talk about 2018 as a whole. So 2018 was an interesting year in professional wrestling. We saw the rise of Kenny Omega in New Japan as far as finally becoming IWGP Heavyweight Champion. We saw Cody and the Young Bucks do All In. We've seen Roman Reigns finally topple the Beast in Brock Lesnar, and a lot of other things like Ronda Rousey making her debut in pro wrestling in 2018. And we're going to do our PW Unlimited year-end awards. Next week on this show, we're going to announce the nominees for our 10 categories. Then we're going to open it up to you guys, and you guys are going to head over to PWUnlimited.net and vote for who you think should win in each of the 10 categories, which I'm going to name the categories right now. And then in early January, we will reveal all the winners. So the categories are as follows. It's pretty simple. It's plain and simple. It's male superstar or male wrestler of the year, because this is not just WWE. It's open to all pro wrestling. Male wrestler of the year, female wrestler of the year, tag team of the year, feud of the year, most improved wrestler of 2018, major show of the year, a pay-per-view or an iPay-per-view, weekly show of the year, Raw, SmackDown being the Elite, Impact, Ring of Honor, match of the year, I think I said that one already, match of the year, best on the mic in 2018, and best wrestling podcast of 2018. And that's any wrestling podcasts that tell stories from the past or podcasts that are just all about news. So we will reveal the nominees for each of those categories on next week's PW Unlimited podcast. And then we'll open it up for you guys to vote. And in early to mid-January, we will reveal who you guys voted for and the winners. Let's take this call. Caller on the air, what's going on?
Jim, how's it going?
Pretty good. Yourself?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on what you said about wrestling in 2018. Honestly, personally, I think it's been one of the best years in wrestling in a long time.
Oh yeah,
My biggest takeaway is that personally, my favorite wrestler in the world is Cody Rhodes, and I'm just personally, I think I'm happy for the guy. He held technically three titles at once, and he proved in with other guys. WWE's not the you could do good outside WWE.
for sure.
And who did you who in your opinion what is your biggest takeaway for 2018? I think it's just been a great year altogether.
I think the thing that I would take away the most, it's not anything we could put in like the awards or anything, but it would probably be that pro wrestling is more accessible in 2018 than it's ever been, as far as you can find a show to watch at any time basically that you haven't seen yet, whether it's something brand new or something old. You've got the WWE Network that's got their collection of stuff from forever, but then you've got all these other promotions that are either got their shows on YouTube or Twitch or on the Fight TV app or even Powerbomb TV. There's all these different places where we can now go to watch pro wrestling and learn about these stars that aren't on the major TV shows that even 5 years ago, we may not be able to see all these new up-and-comers because they weren't on Impact or on ROH or on WWE. But now, we can literally see companies from all over the world. And I think that's something that really stands out to me from 2018 is the diverse amount of wrestling we can see from everywhere at any time.
I agree with that 100%. My last question is, any matches this before the year ends? Any matches you're looking forward to? Personally, I'm looking forward to Neville, aka not going by Pac, against Zack Sabre Jr. and Will Ospreay. I think that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, both of those matches should be good. I believe one's in January and one's in February, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think those two matches could be contenders for match of the year early in the year next year.
Oh, for sure.
This year's been great. Next year might just be even better.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so many unknowns for next year, especially like we were talking earlier with the All Elite Wrestling. Who knows who they sign and what kind of dream matches we can see there. But if there's anything I'm looking forward to, I know I'm looking forward to Kenny Omega versus Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom, because that match was supposed to happen in 2016, and Tanahashi got hurt and couldn't wrestle. But
I remember that. My boy Suzuki kicked his behind.
But as far as other things, I don't know. I mean, I am excited for the two Pac matches, like you mentioned, but not too much more. I'm just really excited more for like different shows coming up.
I just love wrestling in general.
Same
Wherever, if it's good, I'm watching. Whatever it takes.
Right, for sure. But I want to say thank you for the call and have a great night.
You too. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, so 2019, again, is going to be a pretty good year. Just like I said, in 2018 was a year where we got so much wrestling from everywhere. And it's great, because if you're just sitting there and you're like, I want to watch some wrestling, but I want to watch something I haven't seen yet. I don't want to go to the network and watch an old show that I've already seen. You can load up something like a New Japan World. You can load up something like a Powerbomb TV, the Fight TV app, and just be like, 1, 2, 3, yep, okay, I'm going to watch that. So it's cool. It's very, very cool that there's so many different places you can go just to watch wrestling. Woken King Slender says, I've never seen wrestling as easily accessible on the internet as I have this year. WWE Network, Fight TV, Twitch, the Global Wrestling Network, and others. Yeah. And you got to also lump Powerbomb TV into that too, because they're really growing their catalog as well. They've got, I know what I've only used Powerbomb TV for, though, is Black Label Pro, but they've got a lot of others on there as well. DJ Essence says, have you seen the TED Talk with Eric Bischoff? What's your thoughts? I have not seen it yet. It gets suggested to me on YouTube almost every single day for some reason, but I have not watched it. I saw parts of the Candice Michelle one, and that one's kind of wacky and out there. She's like jumping off of stools and spinning in circles and yelling and screaming and flinging her arms. That one's kind of weird. The Candice Michelle one, but I have not seen the Eric Bischoff one yet. Ashton Tyler says, next year is going to be an awesome year for wrestling, for sure. Again, if you guys do want to call in, the phone lines are open, 475-8473, 559-475-8473. Travis Ray says, Impact still streams their old shows on Twitch. Yeah, they have a 24/7 stream. So you can go on there and literally, and if you just want to watch Impact 24/7, download the Pluto TV app. They have their own channel on Pluto TV where you can just watch Impact all day, every day. Taylor Pergrim says, are the Revival going to AEW? As of right now, can't say because we don't know when Scott Dawson or Dash Wilder's contracts with the WWE do expire. They could expire in early 2019. They could run to 2021. We honestly don't know when their contracts do expire, so as of right now, we can't really give too much thought on that. Jess says, any news on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn coming back? Sami Zayn, I don't know. Kevin Owens, they're hoping before WrestleMania. But knowing them, they say before WrestleMania, and it's going to be the night after Mania Raw. Noob & Co. says, SmackDown finally turned around with the upcoming Triple Threat Women's title TLC match. Hopefully they won't mess either Asuka or Becky up. I don't think you can mess Becky up any more than they already have. I'm not Becky, Asuka. Can't mess up Asuka any more than they already have. Because they've messed her up something fierce. Fierce, I'm telling you. Let's take this call. Caller on the air, what's going on?
Hey, Tim.
How's it going?
I was thinking about like when Triple H run WWE. I was thinking about you think he will have he'll talk with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and they'll have a one night only event or something like that.
That's tough to say. I don't think that will happen because right now they do see New Japan as competition. Because if they're going to partner with somebody, it's going to be somebody that they don't see on their level, but see as underneath and lower than them. And right now, New Japan is basically on their level. Maybe not directly on their level, but it's half a step under them. And so, I mean, I know there was that image floating around somebody created and posted on Reddit of, hey, here's all dream matches we could do with the WWE and the New Japan roster. But I don't see that happening, at least not anytime soon. Not for another. If it were to happen, I couldn't see it happening for 10 years at least.
Right.
Because, like I said, WWE, they want to partner with companies that eventually they can just take over if they wanted. New Japan, that's not going to happen.
Right.
So.
I mean, wrestling been an awesome year. It's been an awesome year.
For sure.
From a lot of different companies, but it's a lot of dream matches that can happen right now.
Oh, that's for sure.
Like Buddy Murphy, he doing good.
Yep.
You think he'll be in 205 Live forever?
Good shot. Good chance. He'll be down there for a very long time. And like you even said, when Triple H takes over, we don't know what changes Triple H will make. We don't know if Triple H is going to change a lot, if he's going to change a little, or if he's going to keep everything exactly the same. That is something we don't know. And a lot of people keep saying, well, look at what he's doing with NXT. NXT is completely different than the main roster. NXT is a 1 hour weekly show that you tape 3 to 4 episodes at a time, and then you've got time to tape all your backstage stuff and edit it up before it's got to go up on the network. With the main roster, that's at least... Raw's 3 hours. That's 3. SmackDown's 2 hours. You got main event. That's 3, 4, 5. That's 6 hours there. Then if you got a pay-per-view, that's another 3 to 4 hours. That's a lot more content, and it's all live. It's not a 1 hour show taped and edited for the network. So there's things that some people can, because people are always like, oh, well, he does this with NXT, so he can do that on the main roster. Some things that he does with NXT may not be able to translate over to the main roster just because of how much more there is there to do.
Right. All right, one last question. Do
Sure.
you think All Elite Wrestling can compete with WWE?
Again, right now it's too hard to say. The big thing is first off, who's the talent? Who's on that roster?
They gotta build that roster.
You got to build a roster with both Here's my thing. You've got to build it with both guys we do know and guys we
Right.
don't know that they can build as brand new stars. And
And
then
they
the
gotta
other
get
thing,
their titles.
and then the other thing, like I said earlier, they have to have TV. If they
Right.
can use guys like the elite guys, use SoCal Uncensored and bring in some other guys that we know of to help build new guys that we may have heard their name but not seen them in any kind of a prominent role anywhere. If they can build stars, they can maybe eventually try to compete. First year? No.
Right.
First 2 years? Maybe not. But it's hard to say without knowing if they're going to get on TV, if they're going to be on a streaming service, and who's going to be on their roster. It's just hard to say. But I do want to say thank you for the call and have a great night.
You too.
Again, there's just too many factors unknown about this All Elite Wrestling to even fathom them being WWE competition. Let's head over and take another call. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hello, I'm just going off what you're saying right now about how much wrestling there is.
Right.
There's a lot of it. Lucha Underground, Ring of Honor, New Japan, WWE. Now, according to Xavier Woods, if I don't like something WWE gives me, I'm an entitled baby. And last time I checked, I have man parts. So, am I entitled baby because I don't like the last couple episodes, or I don't like a few segments of Raw? And I mean, what are your thoughts on Xavier Woods saying that fans who complain about wrestling or complain about Raw are entitled babies?
I saw this. I didn't really talk about it or write anything up about this. I did see this, and I don't know what to really say. It's kind of like I want to say he's almost kind of in the wrong here, because anybody
Right.
and everybody is entitled to their own opinion, whether it is something you believe in or you don't believe in. I don't agree with him saying that, oh, just because we did something in WWE that you didn't like, you're entitled because you. I think what his thing is, he may not like when WWE does something and the fans come at them and say, oh, no, you should have done it this way. You should have done it
Right.
that way. You should have gone at it this way. I think that's where he's thinking people are entitled, as far as people say, I didn't like this, and then try to tell them how to do it, how to do their job, how they should have booked this storyline, or how this match should have gone. I think that's the entitled thing he was talking about, not the fact of, oh, anybody whines and I don't care about your opinions, but it's the fact of you're not there day to day grinding like the WWE superstars and all the officials backstage, writing the shows, producing the shows, putting out the content, and it's just a fact of people try to tell the WWE and their wrestlers how they should do their job. And that's, I think, where he got upset. And that's why he called people entitled, because he thinks people are entitled to thinking that they can tell him how to do his own job.
Now, if he would have said it like that, I'd have been like, I understand you perfectly. He's a smart dude. I mean, it came off the wrong way. It really came off like, dude, like, hey, man. Yeah, like, dude, I buy your video games. I buy the network. I pay for cable. I go to the shows when they're near me. Like, don't tell me if I think something sucks to be quiet about it. Like, it don't work that way, man.
Yeah, because like you said, it came off in a way where he was just like, no, you're going to like what we do, and that's all we're going to do. But the way I took from what he said was he doesn't like it when people are trying to tell him, I don't like this. This is how you should do your job. That's how I took from what he said.
Okay.
So
that's been on. Fans. There are some who want to book the entire show, and it's fun to do it fantasy wise. But I mean, if something sucks, Raw 2 weeks suck. No matter how you shape it, cut it, slice it, it sucks. So yeah, I was just wondering what your thoughts on that was.
Yeah, and I mean, just the one last thing on that. It's like all these fans can try and say, well, they should do this or they should do that, but how many of these fans have actually worked in pro wrestling or worked for a company like the WWE, know how to do all this kind of stuff? It's not as easy as snap your finger, make it happen, and this is what I think is going to work. Because these fans may have their opinion, and another fan may think that their opinion is completely wrong. And you can't self-serve everybody. Everybody's going to have their own thoughts and opinions on what they do and what they don't like.
We're all, when it comes like sports, we're all couch coaches. We all know what they should have played, they should have ran.
Exactly.
And then when they don't, we get mad at them for not doing it. So
I totally agree with that one right there.
Yeah.
But thanks for the call and have a great night. Yeah, so that Xavier Woods thing, I saw that, and like I said, I think he could have worded it different. So the way I got it was, he doesn't like when people are entitled as far as they think they can come at him and tell him how to do his job. That's how I took it. He should have worded it differently because a lot of people got upset about it, but it's what it is. He said it. It's in the past already. I don't think it was that big of a deal. Looking here at the chat, Newbin Co. says, I like the new Daniel Bryan as an evil environmentalist. Great angle for him as a heel, for sure. I love it. We've seen him do this kind of stuff on the indies where he thinks he's better than everybody. He thinks he's smarter than everybody. He thinks his way of life is better than everybody else's way of life. And that's the only way of life. It should be waves of life. So, Ashton Tyler says, Tim, should WWE get a new writing team? No. Because in the end, it's not the writing team that's putting out this stuff. They're delegated from Vince to what to do. And if Vince doesn't like something, he'll erase it and write it himself. So I don't think you can blame the writing team per se, because in the end, it's all Vince. Vince has got the final say. If Vince reads something in a script that he doesn't like, he'll scratch it out and write it out himself. He'll just say, screw it. Here, I'll write it out. You can't write this how I want it? There you go. But before we do end the show here, just looking at the chat, seeing if anybody else does call in. And lines are open. Take one more call. 559-475-8473. The number is on the screen. Just looking through the chat. Woken King Slender says, Balor can only come out as the Demon if he's booked to win. Demon Finn never loses. Very true. Very true. And on that note, that's how they can do a good undefeated streak. Kind of. The Asuka thing, she was booked as undefeated, but then they were like, we don't know what to do with her as undefeated. She has to lose so we can do more with her. But with Finn thing, he can be like, you lose every time you're regular Finn Balor. What would you do? But you put on that demon gimmick. You put on that paint. Boom. You don't lose. So, I don't know. They've really dropped the ball with Finn on the main roster, in my opinion. So, I'm not going to get excited about anything or think that they're going to do anything good with him anytime soon. But let's take this one final call. Calling on the air. What's going on?
I'll call on to see. Do you know when Roman Reigns is going to return to TV?
There is absolutely no way to know that. He may be on Tribute to the Troops on December 20th. Other than that, as far as coming back to the WWE, there is no way anybody can know that at all.
All right, man. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Bye.
All right, just looking at the last couple of things. Ashton Tyler says, I'm glad we can call into the show again. Yeah, there's an issue when it's both me and Nick. The new Skype app doesn't like us to be able to just add somebody into the call. So when it's only me, I can take calls easier that way. Because Skype kind of ruined their new app. Nobody loves the new Skype app. I'm just saying that. Like, I've seen so many people online saying that they hate the new Skype app. You can't even mute the ringer on the new Skype app. So, I mean, I'm using the old Skype app, but sometimes it doesn't work right. And Skype's a lot of messed up. So when it is just me, we can take the calls. But Supernova Gaming says somebody get some water from the Lake of Reincarnation for the new Daniel Bryan. I like that. MTG, I think Daniel Bryan is straight edge 2.0. No, he's not that. No, because he's not going to start converting people to his ways and being a cult leader. He's just going to think he's better than everybody. I know it is kind of similar to the CM Punk stuff where especially CM Punk when he feuded with Raven in the Indies and Ring of Honor. But with that, I do got to say thank you for joining me here for the PW Unlimited podcast on this Wednesday, December 5th, 2019. You can follow us right here on YouTube, on Facebook, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD, at Twitter, at PWUnlimited. You can follow me at Timmy Buddy. Follow Nick at PW_Armstrong. Hopefully Nick is back with us on Monday for the Monday Night Raw review. And also, go check out our good friends over there at Fightful.com, on Twitter at Fightful Online, Fightful Wrestling. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good night, guys.